Hell, hello everybody. This is the Game Squad. I'm Cameron.
I'm Michael.
We're back in Sakura spirit.
The penis go boing boing game.
Yeah, the penis, as you can see from this fucking screen right now. Anyway, let's get into it. Let me just prep my voice real quick so I
You
don't.
already said this line, so you're fine.
I did not. I don't think so.
No,
Wait,
you did.
yeah, I'm pretty sure we got here, then I immediately stopped because I'm like, I don't want to talk as Mio anymore.
No, because I remember the lashing rain.
A warrior should not. No, did we? Oh,
Yeah.
we did. Okay, all right.
Because I remember the lashing rain of the burning sun. She was to show off her guts.
I'm going to regret this. I sighed deeply as I took on a combative stance, certain that something was going to end up going wrong.
So is it just me, or does Narumi seem like really drunk in this part?
Kind of.
She
I mean,
seems-
isn't that,
she seems more
is,
tipsy than
isn't that
normal.
her personality in general? I don't know, Michael. I've never gotten the head of her like you have.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I feel like she's just a bit off. Like she's a bit more. I don't know.
I mean, the very well be true. I don't really
Yeah.
focus on him.
Anyway.
Soaked as she was fighting against me, someone who used grappling and throws, she was practically asking for trouble. This is a perfect opportunity. Sometimes your greatest strength can become your own worst enemy. Get in here, Takahiro. We will spar like this, knee-deep in water. Water.
What?
Water.
Word.
Water. This'll be like one of those fine test your skills.
I mean, I am. You could change it to that accent so you don't die.
This girl made her This girl made her way to the edge of the water and grabbed a discarded mop. It took a lot of willpower not to glance at her soaked figure as her clothes clung to her body. I eventually made it to the water, taking a defensive stance as she moved back towards the center of the pool.
So I don't understand. He said that she is like really wet, but that helps him with grappling.
Yes.
Every time I've ever seen somebody be wet or like
Yeah, it's
slicked up,
probably
harder.
it's probably the worst.
So I don't understand what he's saying. Also, that reminds me of there was a UFC fight where a guy was trying to grab somebody by the leg, but he realized that they slipped out of it, and he's like, check him to see if he has oil on him. But as he's doing that, he like releases his guard, and the other dude just comes straight down with a punch and knocks him the fuck out.
Did he have oil on him though?
No. So he lost the fight because he was just being
Oh
stupid.
shit!
Anyway.
It's good, proper fighting there. Wait, stop the fight. Does he have oil on him?
Oh shit!
Narumi, if you interfere, I will inform Elder-sama of the fate of his dearly beloved old teddy bear, the one you used as a...
La 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 la! No one has to hear anything! Fine, I'll stay put. You'll need someone to haul your body from the water once Takahiro-kun's done with you, anyway.
Isn't that blackmail?
A little bit.
Oh, it is blackmail, all right. Now, prepare yourself. The attack came a lot faster than I had anticipated. The wooden shaft aimed squarely at my midsection and hit me straight and hard, knocking me back a few steps. I hissed at the pain as the impact spread, flexing my arms out. Mio sloshed forward, waves of water splashing aside as she stomped onward. I pushed myself upwards, dodging another strike to my left.
Go, Takahiro-kun!
I moved in closer, trying to make her thrust less effective, thanks to the length of the mop handle, and aimed a blow towards her shoulder. To my surprise, she took the hit without moving an inch. If you are not going to put everything you have into this, you might as well stop calling yourself a man. My eyes narrowed a little. I pulled back as a wide strike slammed into my side. Into my side. Growling, I felt my anger flare. I quickly lashed out, smacking the mop handle away forcefully, and used the opportunity to get close once more. I managed to land a few jabs against her midsection and one onto her shoulder, before darting backwards as best as I could in the water. She appeared winded for a moment or two, before she spun the mop in her hands, pushing forward again.
Takahiro-kun! Takahiro-kun! Takahiro-kun!
Her next strike was a downward slash, which I caught between my hands. With a grin, I pulled hard on the stick and flung my foot upwards in an attempt to land a kick. She did the only sensible thing and let go of the mop, which let me toss it aside with ease. A swordsman without a sword. Can't hope to beat an experienced martial artist. This match is lost. Surrender. I suppose I have no choice. As soon as she said that, she spun around, lashing her leg upwards in a roundhouse kick that caught my jaw, knocking me back, and almost landing me on my rear.
Damn!
Overconfidence will get you killed. This fight isn't over until your opponent is down. She stood in front of me, her fist raised in a stance I did not recognize. If she was quicker without a weapon than with, I didn't stand a chance of beating her. Her kicks were powerful, as the ache in my jaw reminded me, and she had plenty of stamina to go off. The only way I could stop her was to use that.
Oh. See, the fact that he didn't see this kick coming leads me to believe he would have been knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, probably.
Like in real life, but
Whatever.
whatever.
That's not the only way to want to fight, you know. I stepped forward purposefully. I didn't need to attack her, just to get close. A few steps, and I had her right where I needed her. Cornered and unable to get past me.
He's going in for the nipple twister.
The nipple twister! I took another step, and she darted to one side, trying to get past my blockade. I looped an arm around her waist, and braced myself for the counterattack I knew would follow. My left leg applied pressure against her knees, sending her down onto them. Well, all this in the water, by the way. I find this very difficult to believe they can move.
They could do this all that
Yeah.
fast, yeah.
And, like, it was up to their waist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
No. Also, you would see the kick coming, so
Yeah.
he would be able to hit you hard with a roundhouse
Like,
that way.
fuck, whatever. My left leg applied pressure against sending her down, while my other arm grabbed her arms high above her head. My waist pressed against her body. No!
Yay! Takahiro-kun used the submission hold. It's super effective.
I held her tightly, but with not enough to cause pain. All I had to do was lower my right hand, in which return would put pressure on her body. And so I did, slowly showing her just what she was up against. Getting a call, Michael. How unprofessional.
I didn't know. Who is it from?
I don't know. You put your phone so far away.
Oh. It's from Destiny. Hold on, I gotta take this.
Yeah, what? Really?
Hello? Hey, what's up? I'm doing well. I'm in the middle of a recording session right now, however. A recording session. Yeah, so could I call you back later, maybe?
Like 10 minutes?
Okay. In like 10 minutes? Okay, well, I guess that's that.
Everything okay?
Yeah, she wanted to talk to me. She sounded very happy, so that's always good.
Alright, well then, 10 minutes and then you can do that and I guess we'll end the session.
Okay.
Alright, sweet. Oh, do you give up? Oh, fine, you win! I grinned widely, chuckling to myself. I slowly helped her up to her feet, gradually releasing my hold. Try not to struggle when I release you, otherwise... But it was too late. Before I had a chance to warn her about the problem with that particular hold, she pulled away from my grip. The angle of her arms and the tightness of my arm around her waist caused her clothes to tighten as she pulled away. Blood circulation has a tendency to get cut off occasionally, causing people to faint. In this case, however, it was her clothes that paid the price for impatience. Rip! As the girl turned to face me, her clothes tore, scattering in tiny pieces in the wind. What?
I don't know what hold he was putting on her, but I can't think of a single hold that would make you do that.
Arm around the waist and, like, holding both of her hands up here? From behind?
I've never even heard of that, first off.
I don't know, Michael.
For a second, I thought that he was going to German suplex her when he was talking about
Yeah,
being
I
behind
thought
her.
so too. I'm like, is he gonna fucking
Is he going
suplex
to do
her?
that? But no, he just rips her clothes off. What a prick.
I'm surprised. Time seemed to slow to a halt as Mio looked down at herself, let out a scream, and just barely managed to cover herself. You? I tried to warn you. I swear this isn't some kind of secret judo technique. You stay back, Narumi.
Yes, Mio-chan?
Please give me a change of clothes.
Yes, right away. I'll be back as soon as possible, I promise.
For some reason, I'm feeling less like a hero and more like a villain. Narumi quickly rushed off, leaving Mio and myself to ourselves. It felt different from last night. It felt like I was walking on thin ice, as though one wrong word and she would begin to resent me the same way she resented the spirits. I'm sorry, I really didn't mean for any of this to end up happening. It was an accident. So you found my weakness. Huh? No, I swear this was just an accident. That hold usually makes your clothes tighter. Not that. I can't move. I have perfected every area of being cool and unrelenting except nakedness. It's embarrassing. I don't think you have anything you need to hide. I mean, you should be proud of your body. It's not that. The thought of people staring at me, it makes me feel dizzy. Like I can barely think. I actually admire that about Narumi. She doesn't have a single ounce of shame in her. Well, I think Narumi-chan would be the exception. Most girls probably would get embarrassed at being seen naked. I'm sure Narumi-chan will be here with you close soon, though. I'm not most girls. I shouldn't get incapacitated like this easily. It is infuriating. Infuriating. I'm fucking losing the ability to talk. It is infuriating. I lose all control of myself. I'm not sure, but maybe...
That's you, Takahiro.
I'm not sure, but maybe... I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but maybe it's something you'll be able to train. A weakness to overcome. We can practice it together, you know? Just you show me being naked, then I'll show you me being naked, and then we'll go from there, right? That's fine.
I'll show you yours if you show me mine.
Yeah, pretty much. Can we do it now? Perhaps if you... She began stammering uncontrollably, blushing from ear to ear, unable to finish her sentence. I began to panic. I had never seen a girl get this worked up before. I think it would be better if you asked Narumi-chan about that. But that wouldn't work. I don't get like this when there's only girls around. I mean, I guess, but... I felt as though every male in both worlds were cursing me for my indecisiveness. At this very moment, a pretty girl stood before me, suggesting that I look at her naked. All for the sake of making her less embarrassed in the future. How could I call myself a man if I declined such an invitation?
How could you call yourself a gentleman if you actually accepted it, though?
True. But are you really okay with, me? I can't think of anyone else to do it. Please, Takahiro. Look at me. She's, like, using the fucking gruffness of her voice. Was this really happening? If it was, this was the best type of training I have ever experienced. As Mio began to move her arm, I turned my head. Unfortunately, it was at that very moment the door slammed open and walked in Maiko and Machiko wrapped in towels. This is Yo.
It was nice of Elder-sama to... It was nice of Elder-sama to allow us to use the bathrooms. It'd be nice to... Takahiro!
Oh, fuck. No! Taka need to soon return or do naughty things! Wait. This is not what it looks like. Oh! That was a horrible scream of surprise. I'm not gonna attempt it again, though. Oh my! And with that, the girl fainted again, slipping into the water. What? You're not in the water! You're in the... Look at your fucking background! You're out of it! Before I had a chance to react.
If she was in the water, she would, like, hit her head against
right?
the tiles or something.
It took a considerable amount of effort to convince the others that nothing unholy had been taking place. Thanks to Narumi's testimony, coupled with Mio's apparent habit of freezing, they believed me. However, as I turned to leave, Narumi dragged me off to the side. It seemed like she wanted me to come and see her later, that evening in return for saving my hide. Did I save... Wait, what? Did she save... Okay, I guess.
Yeah, Narumi was telling her about
okay, yeah.
incident.
I couldn't really see a way for me to weasel my way out of that, so I reluctantly agreed. Whew, that evening I excused myself and made my way to Narumi's home, knocking lightly on the door. Hey, Narumi-chan, are you there?
Just a moment. Door's open, but don't come in yet.
Is she gonna be naked? Curious, I found myself wondering what the girl had planned. Perhaps she was preparing a meal, or something to surprise me with. Some sort of present, maybe? Or maybe she wanted to talk. Whatever the reason might have been, Narumi's voice once again sounded from within the house.
Okay, you can come in now, Takahiro-kun.
Feeling kind of excited, I opened the door and walked in, the door sliding shut behind me. The room was darker than I remembered, and it occurred to me to hunt for a light. Foolishly, I began searching for a light switch when I remembered that something like that was unlikely to exist here. I managed to locate a small lamp and a nearby box of matches, lighting it with ease.
Turn around, Takahiro-kun.
I turned around and my eyes bulged. Standing before me was Narumi, only she seemed to be dripping. Is that shit? Did you cover yourself in shit?
It's my fetish.
Scat?
Yeah.
I mean, if I get to put it in, I mean, whatever.
See,
if that's the cost.
I'm thinking this is chocolate.
Or mud, I don't know.
What the fuck is?
You're thinking she heated up chocolate and put fucking warm, maybe like hot chocolate covering her entire fucking body?
Not hot chocolate, warm. I want to figure this shit out.
Look up the fucking like melting point of chocolate. Like, look it up.
The melting.
The melting point of chocolate, Michael.
Pretty sure it's somewhere in like the
Get your
range.
fucking. That's so hot.
170 is very hot. You are correct. This is not a lie. Okay, the melting point of chocolate is.
Like to be like this, like to get like this, like fucking this, like liquidy.
The melting point of chocolate is somewhere between 86 degrees and 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So
Really?
that would probably be somewhere in the 94 range.
Okay, so
So
not.
she'd be fine.
Alright, fine. Dripping. Taking in the view, I let out a shriek. Oh!
Fucking told you. Sorry.
For a moment, I expanded to see the slime girl, but then I noticed the smell of chocolate in the air. Please tell me you're not possessed by some kind of chocolate spirit. I instinctively found my eyes drifting along the room's chocolate-coated figure, trying to find any sign that a spirit should be involved. When I found none, I felt myself growing increasingly nervous. I also felt something else growing increasingly.
The end of the episode.
Oh, thanks for watching, guys. We've been the Game Squad.
My name's Michael. I'm gone.
I'm Cameron. You're gone?
I'm gone. Yeah, the end of the episode. I'm gone. Like, peace be with you.
And this has been Sakura Spirit. Alright. Bye.